Single source of truth, SSOT. Anyone? An SSOT is an information technology term that means the one place in the company where you can look and find the most up-to-date, accurate information you need about anything. A single source of truth. I'm obsessed with single sources of truth, but I didn't know that's what they were called until about 2 years ago when I moved into the ed tech space. Before that, I had been calling them Bibles. This came up about 20 years ago on a job when my boss, who was the director of education at a Broadway theater, and I, the assistant director of education at a Broadway theater, were crossing Broadway. And he turned to me and said, "Do you know if we got hit by a bus right now, the whole education department would come to a standstill?" And I was like, I think if we got hit by a bus, there would be bigger issues than the education department, but I hear what you're saying. And so when I got back to the office the next day, I started creating the Education Bible. I don't know, some people might call this standard operating procedures, some people might call this a manual. We were two secular Jews who thought it would be funny to call it the Education Bible. And every job I've had since, that's been my first order of business. I actually put it in my cover letter that one of my superpowers is to come into any situation and create policies where there are none, or write down policies where there are some, but no one remembers them or follows them, right? So I walk around for 20 years in my career creating single sources of truth, not even knowing that that's what they were called. But creating them at work is a lot easier than creating them in life. I've just finished a 70,000-word memoir about my dad, our complicated relationship, and his unexplained death. And the thing about memoir writers is that unless you have two of them in the family, the minute someone publishes a memoir, that is the single source of truth. And much like live storytelling, we sort of say it's true to the best of your memory ability, but once you put it out there, that's the single source of truth for your family. And I've taken this role really seriously. So for example, there's this thing in my family called the shrimp incident. When I was a child, I got a shrimp shell cartilage, you know, the thing you're supposed to not eat, stuck in my throat. And as I turned blue, my mom rushed me to the powder room, put me in front of the toilet, and started slamming my back. And at that very moment, my father walked in from work and found this situation, sort of surveyed it, walked into the kitchen, got a metal skewer used for grilling. You've seen them. They're long. They have a hook on the end and a point. Walks back into the bathroom, kneels down beside me and says, "I'm gonna poke a hole right here so you can breathe. It'll be okay." And my little 7-year-old body was like, "Move," right? And the shrimp shell goes flying out of my mouth onto his glasses, and I lived, right? But my mom doesn't remember this. And my brother claims to remember nothing of our childhood, and my dad is dead. So maybe you're thinking, well, but if you remember it, right? It happened, except here's the thing I haven't told you. My father was a malignant narcissist who would lie about anything and everything, and I would not put it past him to have created this memory and planted it in my head because it made him look amazing. He loved me so much, he was gonna perform an unsanctioned, unsterile tracheotomy in our powder room. So I don't know if it happened, but I know it's in my memoir. And I think I figured out why for the last 20 years I have made creating a single source of truth a superpower in my career, because I know how hard it is to live without one.